They said free the Palestinians, then celebrate the death of native Indians. How these other races gon' take us serious? They don't. It's silly thinking you can fight oppression with a vote. I'm so woke, I got sleep deprivation. Belly of the beast giving birth to a nation. You know how I feel to have culture and they take it. It'll never be peace. Tell them free the reservation. Till it's backwards. They don't know that they exist no more. Ever try reaching out for help and you just get ignored? Pick up vices like drugs, your child fill a void. They get a youth life sentence for killing. He was just a boy. Niggas poor, what we living for? Life a gamble, it's like 10 or 4. Police hands around your neck, they just hit record. We in war, man, this ain't the norm. But you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know. Mama on the stage crying. She just lost her only son to gang violence. Pops level 4 yard talking through the vents. Have you ever tried to hug your loved ones through a fence? Have you ever been hated just because your skin? Have you ever worked all week and couldn't pay your rent? Life a trip, I'm trying to catch my balance. Every step feel like I'm walking backwards. Credit card, but gotta check the balance. I come from where it's rough, that's why my heart callous. They want you to fall weak, that's a war tactic. Look how we live, what's scary than that? What you know about crossing the Darien Gap? Risk of life to live in hell or bury your kids. Either way we gotta suffer and they just get rich. Life a bitch, why I waste time telling you that? Cause if you ain't a nigga like me, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know how I feel to be black. Yeah, you don't know.
Over 8,000 men have permanently broken free from the P word by
We live? Oh, okay, one and done. I don't hear the mic though. Mic's not on. Nah, I don't hear it coming out the speaker. It was coming out a second ago. Check, 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 check. Okay. It was louder before. Y'all got any questions?
Well, first,
Go ahead, get situated.
Slack y'all one. I got a question.
Go ahead.
And Second Ezra was 14, verse 45, right? When we came to Arsareth. Was all the northern tribes, did they all come or did some stay behind in Samaria?
So you never want to think about anything in totality. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not even just about the northern kingdom being inside of Samaria. The northern kingdom was also in Judea. Precept. Nobody? Anna the prophetess was from what tribe? She was from the tribe of Asher. And she was living inside of Judea at that time. You know, like you can't think of everything as like totality, right? It's like You got Spanish Harlem. Do no Judites live in Spanish Harlem? Then you got the other side of Harlem. Do no Ephraimites live on the other side of Harlem? So you know what I'm saying? Little Haiti. You think only Haitians live there, or is that just the majority of the population? So you can't think about things, you know what I'm saying, inside of totality. Hold on one second. Trey, I'm teaching class. I'll call you back. All right. Peace. So it's it's like the same thing too with like the tribes had different inheritances, right? So just because this was Judah's inheritance didn't mean that there wasn't Asherites sojourning there. Didn't mean that, you know what I'm saying, just because this was Ephraim's land didn't mean that, you know, there wasn't Judites who might have been strangers or visiting that land. So you can't look at everything as so black and white. You know what I'm saying? The majority of the tribes who left to go to another land, and that land was the Americas. Arsareth just means another country or land. Arsareth is like, you know, when you read in the scriptures and it says, as it saith in OC, who's OC?
Hosea. Sir.
Hosea. So when you see Arzareth, Arzareth is like a Greek transliteration of how we say Arataza. What's Arataza mean?
Arataza is a land.
Earth, land, you know what I'm saying? That's all that it is. So when it said Arzareth, all it meant was we went to another land. It just so happened that the land that we traveled to was the Americas. And that's why we find all the archaeology here. Y'all just won't let me leave the 12 tribe breakdown alone. So that's why that makes sense. That's why you know, when you come over here, you have, you know, for the last from 1492 into the 1800s, you got a couple of dozen explorers, conquistadors, historians. I mean, you know, people from different countries and different vocations who, when they came into the Americas and they seen, studied, lived among the indigenous, they all came to the same conclusion. They all came to the conclusion that these people speak Hebrew, they have Sabbaths, they have a lunar calendar, purification processes by washing. They sacrifice in the mountains during, you know what I'm saying, around the same time of quote unquote Jewish festivals. You know what I'm saying, what the Lord said. And there's countless amounts of different archaeological artifacts. Now, you got to be careful when searching because some people heard about these and then tried to make fake ones to make money. You know what I'm saying? There's always scammers, but that doesn't mean that there aren't legitimate artifacts. So you can't tell me that you're going to find in like a 400-year period people from Italy, people from Germany, people from Spain, people from Portugal, all coming to the same conclusion about these people throughout different centuries. Doesn't make sense for that to not be true. You know what I'm saying? So Arsareth was that land, but it's not the name of the land. It's not like, you know, like don't do you know what they do with like library. Like that's where they bury the lies. Don't be like Arzareth. That's where they got America from. No, it just means another land. All right.
Water, sir. So
All right,
like,
bro.
I have another question. It's in 2 Timothy
All right.
2:9. But I'm gonna start up. I'm gonna start up at 7, sir.
Okay.
Consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things. Verse 8. Remember that Yahweh Mashiach, the seed of David, was raised from the dead according to my gospel. Verse 9. Wherein I suffer trouble as an evildoer, even unto bonds, but the word of God is not bond. My question is right here, I suffer trouble as an evildoer.
What about it?
Is this this is Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean by that?
So the Lord reigns on the just and the unjust alike. Paul went through a lot. Paul was shipwrecked. Paul was like even on to bounds. Paul was locked up. Paul got arrested and did time for the truth. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, I suffer even as you would think someone who does evil, who's receiving justice would. But you understand, read verse 10.
Verse 10. Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake.
But what is he doing it for?
For the elect's sake.
For his brothers. Even though he goes through all this, like the truth is not like a lucky rabbit's foot. You know what I mean? Like there's people in their mind have a misconception that they think like the truth is like a magic wand. And once they come in here, all their troubles are going to end and you're no longer going to have to suffer. We ain't get the kingdom yet. You know what I'm saying? Like all that, living deliciously and no more pain and tears and dysfunction or whatever else, you know what I'm saying? That's not here. This isn't the land of our rest. This isn't where that transpires and takes place at. Right. So you come in the truth, expect more things to happen to you. Like my first, if I spoke personally, my first week finding the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like my roommates left me. You know what I'm saying? Like I got hit with a illegal eviction notice, and I don't know if it was $12,000 or $14,000 lawsuit from a house fire from another city that I didn't even start. Somebody knocked on the door, served me papers, and that in that moment, that made me realize, no, this is the truth. Whatever the hell I just found, this is it. And star seeds, and nobody cared when I was looking up aura. Nobody gave a damn when I was Christian. When I was Christian, it was just normal. Whether it was, I went to born again churches. I went to Baptist. Hell, Dawada hates me for saying it. He dragged me to a couple of churches. You know what I mean? Like, and nothing like that ever happened. Even if I ever grew a beard, nobody gave me trouble about it till I came into truth. Then I grew a beard, and now people are like, you Muslim? You know what I mean? And being called Muslim post 9/11 is like, I'm not a terrorist. Like, you know what I mean? So it had such like a negative stigma to it. So you come in the truth and you have to endure things. You come in the truth and you might get evicted. You know what I'm saying? You might lose. You're definitely gonna lose family members. There's no way getting around that. They're gonna say you crazy, say you're in a cult. All these different things can happen because it says, he who comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You know what I mean? And it says, endure all hardship as a good soldier of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. These are a couple of precepts. You know what I'm saying? So when it says that he did all this for the elect's sakes, that they may obtain the salvation which is in Christ Jesus, Mashiach Yahweh Shah, with eternal glory. So you have to realize that when you lose your family, when you lose your wife, if you lose your husband, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's only two reasons I ever see people leave the truth. Either a woman or money. That's it. They think they're going to leave here and all their money problems is going to be solved, or whatever the case may be. Or they think that the truth becomes the source of all their problems instead of them looking at their own decisions, instead of them taking accountability, instead of them looking at the dysfunction that they came from, because this is the place that heals you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the place that makes you whole. But Satan's going to try to get in your mind and turn around and tell you, oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. They're all against me. It's not how this thing works. You know what I mean? Like not everybody might be at that point, because the scriptures say, try the spirit. Just like you testing us, we testing you. We got testing here. You know what I'm saying? What's one of the first tests that a brother, I'm going to speak specifically to brothers right now, that a brother goes through in here?
First test.
Yeah, like what's one of our first processes of weeding people out? I might give it to you saying that.
Well, we test their spirit to see if they're really Israel.
I mean, that's true.
Well,
But I mean, usually that's just who's your father.
right,
You know what I mean? Like, unless you look questionable, we ain't digging too deep.
right.
Tell them to put it on all black.
Yeah, give them a hand. Clap that up. That's it right there. You understand? Like, I don't even see a brother unless they're in all black. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, and I used to just be bad with names, but now it's like my brain won't let me record your slave name. What's your name? Oh, okay, Hebrew. Good to see you, Op. You know what I'm saying? Then I see you in all black, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's serious. Because there's a level of conformity. It means you want to be here. What's a higher degree of that, of just weeding out the weak? What's another one?
As a young man, you know, cleaning up after the brothers in the school, putting chairs away, and then coming to camp.
Nah, that's just like maintenance. And I mean, in a certain sense, it's a rite of passage. Like, you know what I'm saying? We've all done it, but cleaning toilets, putting stuff away, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's light work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, y'all do that for the white man. You wouldn't do that for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And that's another thing. When brothers come to camp and they clothes ain't ironed, they got bleach stains on their clothes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And then just make excuses. Yo, they sell T-shirts in every single corner store down here. Your brother could get you a shirt to get you fresh for camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't go on a date like that. You would find the iron. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of you brothers don't clean your room unless the shorty coming over. You know what I'm saying? Whole house cereal be on the counter for 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Once a sister coming over, now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You want to be immaculate. Y'all faking the funk, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to be like that all the time. You know what I'm saying? But that's like a part of order that, like, you know what I'm saying, women bring to our lives. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, the things that a brother will do for a woman, that's how you got to do for the truth. That's why the truth got to be your first wife. Because you won't clean for yourself, but you'll clean when the woman comes. You better clean this house because, you know what I'm saying, this is your wife. You got to treat it like that. You know what I'm saying? Brother will come all disheveled. Like, if you were going on a date tonight, would you dress like that? Nah, you coming to camp, though? How many hours did you slave this week? Brother will be like 50. You got a problem being at camp for 8 hours? 1 day a week? Okay. You're not serious. So how you know if a brother's serious in here? What's another one?
If he can follow orders.
I feel like following orders is like breathing. I don't even think about it. You know what I mean? I think it'd be funny as how I was with Captain Zakar. He's like, where we going? I was like, Florida. That's all I knew. Who's driving? Who's this? I have no idea. I was told be here at this time. That's it. That's just breathing. I guess I got to give y'all a hint. Maybe one of these.
Right.
I'm a little righteously jealous because I ain't got one of these. You know, the truth has grown. You know what I'm saying? I remember this was funny as hell. Shout out to Capt Maria. The first Hebrew Academy graduation. You know what I'm saying? He a funny cat. I seen Capt Maria. He was like, we ain't get no graduation dinner. And I started cracking up. You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, we didn't. I was like, but you know what? It's kind of like, you know, like first generation who comes to America, they don't have everything. And then like the Arabs open up a corner store, their cousins got a corner store, then all of a sudden everybody got Benzes. I'm like, bro, I'm like, look at the growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys had makeshift walls this year. You know what I mean? Like Hebrew Academy this year was like, not to negate other years, but I mean, like, what Captain Akkad did, it was a legitimate, it was like an institutional program, super well organized, like well-oiled machine, super structured. But it's like I told Cat Maria, I was like, look at how far we've grown, that these brothers have a graduation. Somebody who wants to be a professional in here. It's somebody who wants to have a career in here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some of y'all want to just show up, be career troopers. You know what I'm saying? Career 50s. Listen, trooper's an honorable rank. You know, officer 50 is an honorable rank. You know what I'm saying? I came in here and I wanted to climb. You know what I'm saying? But not, I didn't understand what a crown was. You know what I'm saying? Initially, but I wanted to climb because it's like I can't see me doing something and not wanting to succeed in it. And that's how every single one of you have to treat the truth. And that's how Paul treated it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he said, like, no matter what I suffered, this is what it was for. So with what you were reading, it's basically, don't let the negative things that happen to you make you turn on this place. Because truth be told, you could get evicted in the world. Probably have been. You get what I'm saying? You could lose your partner in the world, child, whatever. All of that could happen without a General Mahayman to call, without a Capt Chaataza to call. You understand? All of that can happen. And I think about that. I even think about these poor fake Israelite groups. And I'm like, y'all don't have a General Mahayman. How do y'all function? That's how you get left with a cat, you understand, or shove anything up his ass and call himself a high priest. It's insane. Any other questions? He need the mic. Sisters ain't got no questions. It's all right. Y'all just hang out. I'm messing with you. Good?
I just need a general breakdown on Isaiah 2 and 9.
Okay. Let's go.
This is the book Isaiah chapter 2, verse 9. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore, forgive them not.
So what specifically? Let's read up. Let's get some context.
Verse 7.
Start at 4.
Verse 4. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
So when the Most High is done with these people, with these other nations, all them different machines that they've made, like they make a drone and put a gun on it, and then fly it over with some Semtex to go blow somebody up. That thing gonna be farming. It's gonna be dropping seeds. You know what I'm saying? Like all their inventions are no longer gonna be used for war anymore. That's how bad that the judgment and the destruction is going to be when it comes on to these other nations. Like the way that they all want to make war right now, the when you look at Korea, All you do is hear about them testing missiles. When you hear about what's going on right now in Iran and Israel, when you hear about Russia and sending troops and all these things, like the way that they all just want to be warmongers, all that's going out the windows when judgment comes into this earth. Read on.
Verse 5. O house of Jacob, come ye and let us walk in the light of the Lord.
So the next thing that you got to see is that our people have fallen. You understand? Because why would you have to tell somebody to walk in the light of the Lord if they already were? You understand? He's saying we need to turn back to our power for that to happen. Read on.
Verse 6. Therefore, thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistine, and they please themselves in the children of strangers.
You understand? And that's what happens with our people, and that's what happens with our leaders. They become soothsayers. You understand? And then we go and think that we're going to get our ease and our peace and all our riches from the other nations. We become codependent on another people. And that happens, you understand, when our people sell out to these other nations. Good?
Verse 7. Their land also is full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots.
Good?
Verse 8. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made.
So now, think about America right now, right? Because one of the things that you know about Isaiah, what does he always prophesy against? Against Babylon, right? That's what this was all about. And now you go and you look at this land, America's filled with riches. You understand? There's riches everywhere. You understand? It's filled with chariots. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, a chariot today is like a car. You know what I'm saying? This America is filled with all these different riches, right? But it's also filled with idols. You understand? It's also filled with every abomination that you could think of inside of this land. Good?
Verse 9. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore, forgive them not.
So now that we got some context, you want to take a shot at it?
Is it talking about like the oppressor?
Well, give me a little more on what you're trying to say.
I think it's talking about those that are in power and yeah, I don't really know how to explain it.
Let's keep reading a little bit further and then we'll tie everything in together.
Verse 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty.
You understand? So all these things that happened inside this land, the Lord don't want us to forgive them, right? For what? Great men humbleth himself, the mean man bowing down, a man of means having to bow down. Keep reading.
Verse 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled.
You understand? So all this greatness, you understand that they feel in this place because of the chariots, because they have means. You understand? Because this place is built and there's people living deliciously off of our suffering. Go ahead.
And the haughtiness of men.
What's haughtiness?
The pride.
The pride, exactly. Go ahead.
Shall be bowed down.
Shall be what?
Bowed down.
Go ahead.
And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
So these people in this land with this gold, with these means, with these treasures, with these horses, with the means, these great men, they're all going to be humbled. They're all going to bow down. You understand? The Lord's not going to forgive them. It's not like this judgment is not going to just pass over. This judgment's going to hit. Go ahead.
Verse 12, for the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low.
You understand? So a man with means and the great man, you understand? All of these different things, they're all going to be brought low. It doesn't matter how high up they are. Like read 13.
Verse 13, and upon all the cedars of Lebanon that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan.
Think about like an oak tree. Think about cedars. You understand? Think about how great a tree is in compared to the size of a person, right? Like you're talking about something with height, something of great stature. That's what we were reading about. We were reading about things of great stature and all of that being brought down low because this is judgment that's coming from the Lord. And the Lord's not going to forgive the crimes and the sins of Babylon. And it doesn't matter how great you are, how many means you have. It doesn't matter how much, financial security you think you have. The Lord can bring all of that down. All right. Any other questions? I think Sis had her hand up before you. Give it a mic. Oh, okay. There's one on each side.
I have a question. Are we not supposed to enter a church no matter what, or is it just something where we'll be unclean for a while? Like what?
So what are you going to the church for?
Well, I think I saw a video like a long time ago where there was brothers from the Isupk in the church exposing the church. But is there something in the Bible that says we're not supposed to enter, or is that just something where we'll be unclean for a while, so it's best not to?
Okay. So if a church was having a funeral, you'd be unclean because of the dead body, right? A church is just a building. Now, many of the people inside of the church are unclean, but they're unclean because they eat pork. They're unclean because they lie. They're unclean because they commit adultery. They're unclean because they slander each other. They're gossipers. You understand? Whatever the case may be, going into a building is not the problem. The problem is our people go to church to have service and worship of another God. Now, if we were invited to a church, we're entering into a building. That's all that it is. And in that building, we're going to destroy that doctrine in order to help clean those people who have become unclean because of their actions. So the church is just a building. There's things that can make it unclean. Like if the church brought pork in there to feed everybody. Now you wouldn't eat the pork, so you wouldn't be unclean. You understand?
Answer.
So a building is just a building, but it's the actions that they do, which is what defiles them. It's the actions that they do, which is what makes those people unclean. And when we go into a church, it's to do what Paul said when he said, rob these churches. Y'all know what he meant by that?
Answer.
So what do you mean by that?
Rob them of their congregation.
Yes. You understand? That's exactly why we go into the conscious community. That's why we go onto the 100 side. That's why we go to churches and deal with Muslims and all that. It's to wake up the people inside of their congregations to bring them home. I don't think there's a person in this room that was born in the truth. Not one of us. You understand? So it's like we weren't born here. We were all robbed from another philosophy in order to come inside of here. I was robbed from the church. Now, I wasn't in the church like that, but you know what I'm saying? But I was taken from Christianity to come inside here. So if you ever see a brother inside of a church, I'm hoping that's what it's for. I hope y'all ain't in there banging tambourines or trying to play the organ or something. All right. Good.
So, are we allowed to help any church buildings or build them up? Or
Yeah, this one. This is the building that needs to get built up. This is like the real church. You understand? Like the scripture says, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. You understand? That church is just a building. This is the real church. Two or more Israelite men is the church because men lead the congregation. You understand? So since you've been in here, we've been in church. Anytime you come around the brothers, you're in church. And as an individual brother, anytime you get around another brother, you're in church. You see how different that makes you want to treat the brothers? You see how different that should make you want to treat another sister? Because if not for this, me and you would never be having this conversation. Me and him. You understand? The only person in here that I knew before any of y'all was Officer Dawada. He's the only one I knew from the world. The rest of us, we all only know each other because of the Most High in Christ. So if that's the case, and that's what brought us together, we better never just treat this like it's common. We better never treat this like it's regular. We better always treat this like this has to do with the Lord. We better always treat this like this has to do with something bigger than all of us and hold ourselves to that standard. So if there's anything that needs to be done, the value that the world puts in those buildings, you want to put in this one. You need to look at this place like it's the most amazing place on earth. You need to look at this place like it's not the sole responsibility of Capt Chaataza or Officer Kabar inside of, you know what I'm saying, San Antonio to make this place better. It's each and every single one of your responsibility. You understand? So it's like if you see something that could be better, if you see something that could be better, whether it's something small, talk to your camp leader and discuss it with him. You understand? Like if you turn around and say, hey, I'm an electrician, man. I noticed you guys need an extra light out here. Can I install it? You understand? You a plumber. You know what I'm saying? Can I install a shower in the back? Could you, a sister, like y'all, yeah, listen, man, like brothers will sleep on a damn piece of toast and you know what I'm saying, in the middle of the living room and have no furniture, nothing on the walls. You know what I'm saying? Like it's sisters that hang up pictures and get plants and put curtains up to make it more, you know what I'm saying, more beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like what could you add to this? You know what I'm saying? Call Kabar, speak of them, you know what I'm saying, and be like, hey man, I think I found a better picture frame. Could we put the general's pictures in these picture frames? It would just look beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Like what you want to do out there, bring it here. This place needs it. They don't need it. This place is accepted by everybody. The church, you understand? We're the ones that's denied. And that's why we better love each other more. It's why we better prefer each other over everybody else out there. And it's why we better never bring none of the bullshit from out there in here. You get me?
Answer
What's on Christ?
the water.
I had the bar.
Slacky, sir. Just for a refresher, when doing a breakdown of the 12 tribes,
I can't escape it.
I know, sorry.
I'm just
But
kidding.
you're the man to ask about it.
Most High in Christ.
Specifically, when Dan is brought up, is there a specific set of scriptures, or anything that references how it's assimilated into the 12 tribes, so that we get the finalized 12 tribes from what was originally set forth with the sons of Jacob?
Give me Revelation 7.
Come on. Which verse?
7 and 3.
Revelation chapter 7 and verse 3, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
So now we're about to find out about this seal. You understand? About the servants of God. You understand? Read on.
Come. Verse 4. And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
So this is the amount of those that were sealed. Go ahead.
Come. And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
This is about to tell you, you understand, who's going to be sealed. And in this day and times, who is considered a tribe. Read on.
Come. Verse 5. Of the tribe of Judah were sealed.
So we got Judah. There's one. Good.
We're sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Reuben.
Judah and Reuben. Good.
We're sealed 12,000. Of the tribe of Gad, we're sealed 12,000.
Judah, Reuben, Gad.
Come. Verse 6. Of the tribe of Asher, we're sealed 12,000.
There's 4.
Of the tribe of Nephthalim, we're sealed 12,000.
Naphtali.
And of the tribe of Manasseh, we're sealed 12,000.
My Cuban brothers, 6.
Of the tribe of Simeon, we're sealed 12,000.
7.
Of the tribe of Levi, we're sealed 12,000.
Was Levi considered a tribe originally? No. Because if Levi would have been considered a tribe originally, there would have been 13 tribes. To be considered a tribe, you had to have inheritance. What's inheritance? Land. Land is inheritance. Did Levi have land? Levi lived in every province in Israel. They didn't have land. They were Israelites, but they were not considered a tribe. There's a criteria to be considered a tribe. But Levi was the what?
The priest.
The priest. You understand? They were the priesthood. Are you a Levite?
Lies, man.
You a priest?
Come.
So now that you could be a priest, now that I could be a priest, because we're a nation of kings and priests, right? The priesthood was never supposed to be just restricted to one tribe. Now that the priesthood is what it was supposed to be initially intended for, all of us could be priests. You know what that means? Levi is a tribe.
Come.
Levi is going to have inheritance. It's not just up to them. We should be up to 8. Go ahead.
Come. Of the tribe of Issachar, we're sealed 12,000.
9.
Of the tribe of Zebulon, we're sealed 12,000.
10.
Of the tribe of Joseph, we're sealed 12,000.
Who's the tribe of Joseph?
Would be Ephraim.
Ephraim. You understand? Because Ephraim was the chief son of Joseph. So that's why you're seeing Joseph. This is Joseph receiving his inheritance, which is why it doesn't say Ephraim. Good.
Come. Of the tribe of Benjamin, we're sealed 12,000.
That's 12. Where's Dan?
It's not in there.
You want the list? It's right here. This is the conclusion of it.
Oh, come. Come, sir.
Any other questions? Yes, sis.
So, like you, sir, were you saying that the tribe of Levi it could be a brother from another tribe because he's a priest? So he's a part of the tribe of Levi. So that would make, and because all brothers from different tribes can be a priest, then are you saying that that's what makes them Levites?
No. So what I'm saying is Levi are Israelites and they're a specific group of people, but their tribe handled the priesthood at one time. They were the only priest for a time. Now that we're not under the Levitical priesthood, we're under the order of Melchizedek. It's been restored to what it's always was supposed to be, where we're a nation of kings and priests. So the priesthood is open to every tribe. So it's not Levi's only responsibility. So because of that, when our nation's restored, Levi will be just like all the other tribes, where they could be civilians or they could be priests. Just like Judah could be civilians or they could be priests. Ephraim, Manasseh, Issachar, Naphtali, Reuben. So all the tribes are all brothers and all have the potential to be civilians, rulers, or priests. So Levi now doesn't only have that job. They have an oath to make if they want to do that job. It's not like a family business anymore. You know, it's like if back in the day, if your father was a plumber, you'd be a plumber. If your father was a baker, you'd be a baker. Levi was a priest, so his son would be a priest, and his son would be a priest, and his son would be a priest. You know what I mean? Now, every priest that's in here, they took an oath. It wasn't just because their daddy was a priest. It's something that they chose, or the Lord chose them, and they accepted it and took the oath.
Sir, I guess I was getting stuck on when you said it's 12 tribes, not 13, and I'm getting.
So if we look at the original sons, right? So we had what we just read, right? So what we just read, we had Judah, Reuben, Gad, Asher, Naphtali, Manasseh, Simeon, Levi, Issachar, Zebulon, Joseph, and Benjamin. Who are we missing? We're missing Dan. Dan was a tribe. That would be 13 tribes. Levi counted as Israelites, but wasn't considered a tribe, because to be a tribe, you had to have one of two things: an abundance of sons, well, really two things, and land. Levi didn't have land. They lived in everybody's land. Well, they got absorbed mainly inside of Manasseh. Like Dan didn't go conquer their land, and they didn't grow. And when they went into captivity, they never came out. You know what I'm saying? Like their numbers dwindled. So they ended up mixing into Manasseh. Now, the brother initially asked, where's the completion of the tribes? When you go into Revelation 7, it talks about those that are going to be sealed, 12,000 from every tribe, the 144,000. Dan isn't mentioned. Dan isn't mentioned, and that's a part of the prophecy in Genesis 49, where Dan shall be like a snake by the wayside. Where like, you know, do snakes just come out, or do, you know what I'm saying, or do snakes hide and try to blend in with the surroundings, and then they pop out and strike? That's Dan. Dan is blended in, and that's in the prophecy that Dan would be with us, but he would be hidden.
Like, so you want me to pull that scripture? It's in Genesis 49.
You could pull it.
Kind of starting at verse 16. Genesis chapter 49, verse 16. Dan shall judge his people.
And Dan did judge his people. When did Dan judge his people? Who is a Danite? See, you be studying. He be on one. You know what I'm saying? Samson was a judge. I don't think that people in the world know Samson. Everybody knows Samson and Delilah. You know what I mean? Samson was a Danite, and he was a judge in Israel. Superhuman strength. You know what I'm saying? Unalived a lion with his bare hands. Unalived thousands of uncircumcised Philistines with a damn bone from an animal. Jawbone of an ass, just started clubbing them to death. Just done. I'm sure it was like a much more vicious sound than that, but you know what I mean? But Dan judged his people. Go ahead.
As one of the tribes of Israel.
Now, as one of the tribes, he was a tribe. Good.
Verse 17. Dan shall be a serpent by the way.
But he shall be a serpent by the way. And once again, I like, you look in my algorithm on Facebook, a lot of times it's animals. It's like sharks, dolphins, killer whales, snakes, you know what I'm saying? Different little animal facts, right? And you know what I mean? Like I'll be looking up, what's the most venomous snake? It's a boom slang. One of them. Do not want to get bit by one of those. Real talk. Boom slang bites you, you're like blood starts pouring out of every orifice on your body. It'll come out your eyes, your ears, your nose. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. You know what I mean? It like, I don't know if it's like similar to like a rattlesnake where it makes like your blood congeal, like where like your blood gets hard. I think it's the opposite. It makes it thinner. It makes it so thin that it just starts falling out of you.
Damn.
Crazy. Horrifying. I think they're in the Asian territory. They could stay there. Real talk. It's like only a handful of places. Like I prayed, like the Lord never sent. I pray I never get a call from Commanding General Johanna like, Chaataza, you got to go to Australia. Hell nah. They got every single type of venomous spider, frog. Another one, box jellyfish. You know what I'm saying? Number one place with shark attacks. They said that's where the devil keeps his pets. Now that's a joke, but you know what I'm saying? But like, they got something called a fox bat. It's a bat the size that looks like a fox. It's the size of a fox. And it just hangs upside down in your crib. They got something called a huntsman spider. It's nightmare fuel. It's like this big.
Damn.
Yeah, bro. They got spiders there that could eat birds. It's called the bird-eating spider. It eats birds. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not just eating flies and stuff in your house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's literally going to dig a hole, create a trap door, and like wait for a bird to land and then snatch that thing and take it to a place of no return. That's horrifying. I never want to go there. Real talk. Every snake you could think of, I don't know what they got. I hope they don't have mambas. That's another one that's a bad dude. But my point being is snakes blend in with their surroundings. Good?
Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path.
Good?
That biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward.
You understand? And meaning he's still going to strike. He's still going to fight with the tribes. He's going to be there, but he's going to be blended in. And that's why you don't see him inside of Revelations, because he was absorbed into the nation of Israel. And that's the fulfillment of that. That's how he's an adder by the wayside. But that rider and that horse, you understand the way he strikes hidden, because the horse wouldn't go by the snake if he saw it. Neither would the rider, because the rider doesn't want to get thrown by the horse. You understand? End up in the wheelchair like Christopher Reeves, thinking he's Superman. Again?
That's the end of the verse, sir. But I did have a follow-up question just to kind of round out this question.
Good.
So, because when we went in Revelation chapter 7 and it mentioned Manasseh as one of those tribes that was listed with the 12,000, then it lists Joseph instead of Ephraim. And so I guess there's two questions I got with that, because you did mention that Manasseh was primarily the tribe that absorbed most of Dan. Is there a scriptural reference for where that happens?
Yeah. Search. Hold up.
So that's my first question from that.
It's going to be in the book of Judges.
The water.
Okay, first thing, give me Joshua 17:5.
Come on, sir. Joshua chapter 17 and verse 5. And there fell 10 portions to Manasseh.
You know what? Go to Joshua 22:7. I think it'll just sum it up even easier there, and then we're gonna go to Judges.
Come on, sir. Joshua chapter 22 and verse 7. Now to the 1/2 of the tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given possession in Bashan.
So when you go and you look up Bashan, this is where Manasseh got their inheritance from Moses. So if any of y'all know the story or not, when the nation of Israel first was going towards the promised land, the other nations didn't want us around, so we had to take a particular way in. Once we got in, we fought the Amorites. We fought the Amorites from the Arnon River going all the way up north to like Damascus, and we wiped all of them out. Now, while we were fighting, Gad, Reuben, and Manasseh was like, yo, we have a lot of cattle, and this land had plains. So they were like, this is a great place for cattle. Can we keep this land for our inheritance? So now this is on the other side of the Jordan River. So what happens is Moses has a council with the elders of these tribes and says, if y'all want y'all inheritance to fall, you know what I'm saying, east of the Jordan, you have to send men to come and fight with us to conquer the other side because we just helped you conquer this side. So he's like, I'm cool with it. So they make the deal. Moses gives them the inheritance. And then now this land of Bashan belongs to Manasseh. All right. So now I just got to find in Judges to show you that Dan was supposed to conquer land over here. And then they never did.
You know what? The word Bashan actually means fruitful in the Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the rest of that verse, it says that the other half was given to Joseph. Oh, no, hold on, Slakia. The other half was given to Joshua, Slakia.
Give me a second. Go to Deuteronomy 33:22.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 22. And of Dan, he said, Dan is a lion's whelp. He shall leap from Bashan.
So Dan goes into Bashan, right? And that's why it says he shall leap from Bashan. Who lived in Bashan? Manasseh, right?
Yeah,
and he's a lion's whelp. He's not matured. You know what I'm saying? Like you think about a lion's whelp is what? Is a little lion. It's not a grown lion, right? So Dan was small. And Dan was small and was leaping out of Bashan. Okay. So they were really with Manasseh, right? Now, just let me get inside.
That's perfect. I like that. That helps explain it real well.
Georgia. Well, that's the truth, brother.
Damn right.
That's the whole Bible. That's why we here. Most High in Christ. All right, hold on. Judges.
So I leap from Bashan. It's like I got it out the mud from Bashan, you know, like that's where he comes from.
Exactly.
Right. Come.
You know what I'm saying? But remember, he's not a grown lion. He's not an alpha lion. He's a whelp. He's small. Like just like the Bible always gives us metaphors according to things we can understand. Like when you think about the little horn.
Right.
If you see an animal, any of y'all ever been hunting? If you get a buck that's like a 12-pointer, it's got big ass antlers. Mm-hmm. You understand? But there's a certain point where the antlers are so small, the horns are so small, you can't hunt them yet. You understand? They got to grow. You understand? Like America being the little horn, it's a young nation. It's not a big, you understand?
Con.
Dan is a lion's whelp. He's still got to mature. So now, go to Judges 18:1.
Con. Judges chapter 18 and verse 1. In those days there was no king in Israel, and in those days the tribe of the Danites sought them an inheritance to dwell in.
They sought what?
An inheritance to dwell in.
So now, when they didn't have their own inheritance, where were they coming out of? Bashan. Now, if we keep reading, Dan never gets their own inheritance. So as a result, that lion's whelp stays in Bashan. They didn't leap. They didn't get it out the mud. So they got absorbed into Dan, and now they're an adder by the wayside. Because to be a tribe, you have to have what?
Inheritance.
Levi, were they a tribe? Because they didn't have what?
Land.
What was their inheritance, though? The sacrifices of the Most High. All right.
Excellent. And then finally, just that second part of when we was reading in Revelation, it mentions Manasseh as a tribe, but it calls the tribe of Ephraim Joseph. Are those interchangeable, or do we stick with Ephraim for a specific reason instead of Joseph?
So it's just like
it's like a firstborn type thing. Or?
Okay, so go to Isaiah 11, the 11th chapter.
Come on.
And when we go to Isaiah the 11th chapter, go to 13.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
What are we talking about?
Is it the envy of the inheritance?
Why are we only talking about two tribes? Or is this only talking about two tribes? So what does it mean when it talks about Judah?
It's involving Levi
and
Benjamin.
Correct. And now, what does it mean when it's talking about Ephraim?
It's involving Joseph.
Who else?
And
the Northern Kingdom.
Oh, okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. But now, go to Hosea and read Hosea 1 and 10 into 11.
Come. Oh, you said what chapter?
Hosea chapter 1 and start at verse 10.
Come. Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
So now we're talking about Israel, good?
Verse 11, then shall the children of Judah.
Who's the children of Judah?
The 2.5 tribes.
Judah, Benjamin, Levi, good?
Come. And the children of Israel.
Who are we talking about?
The northern tribes.
Isn't Judah Israelites?
Come.
Didn't Isaiah just call them Ephraim?
Come.
Are they interchangeable?
Come.
So if we said Joseph instead of Ephraim, is it interchangeable?
Come.
Why would Ephraim get the title of Joseph and not Manasseh?
Is it because he's the firstborn?
Manasseh was born first.
It was like.
But when he gave the inheritance, what did he do with his hands?
That's what he essentially did. Come.
And now who became the firstborn?
Ephraim.
So who received Joseph's true inheritance?
Ephraim did.
Who's the chief born of Joseph? Who's he the son of?
He's the son of Joseph. Come.
That's it.
So you would say that it is interchangeable in that particular context?
Why wouldn't it be? Is Israel and Ephraim interchangeable?
Come.
So is in this context, is Israel, Ephraim, and Joseph interchangeable?
Come.
It's just context. It's just you call yourself by your prominent father.
Right.
And Joseph, okay, the Lord loved Joseph so much and he did such great things for the Lord and staying true. He got a double portion of inheritance. He didn't just have one son become a tribe. He had two sons. He has a double portion of inheritance.
Good night.
But Ephraim got the greater blessing. Like Joseph received a blessing like he was the firstborn. And that's and who took Reuben's place? Judah. Which is why we always hear about
Judah being,
and
Ephraim.
why do you think they were the heads of the kingdom?
Okay.
Because it was their inheritance. So when the Lord split the kingdom, who'd he put in charge? That's how important these blessings are.
Right.
That's how important these anointings are. Don't take it lightly when you get oil poured on your head. That's forever, unless you end up like Reuben and you lose it. But the Lord never said he was going to take it away. So when he gave it back out, who'd he give it to? Judah and Ephraim. They received those blessings. They received those anointings. They received that inheritance. And he didn't take it away from Israel because out of all the families of the earth, who'd he give it to? And that's why, listen, don't ever think it's a black and white thing.
Right.
It's a Jacob and Esau thing. It's not a black and white thing. It's a Jacob and Esau thing.
Right.
Like every time they see the jump man fly across that screen, they see those Jordans, white people get amazed and then they get angry because they know that was supposed to be them. Every time they see Serena Williams or Naomi Osaka swing that racket, that they got to go, white people, you know why white people invented pickleball? So they could be good at something. Because there was too many niggas and spicks running the damn tennis courts, Wimbledon. You understand? So they went and made pickleball, and then niggas started playing pickleball. And now they going back to playing bottle caps or some shit. I don't know what they doing. They can't golf. You understand? They still in Tiger Woods' shadow. Tiger Woods could stop golf for now and forever, and nobody's gonna touch him unless another nigga plays. You feel me? So every single time white people see Michael Jackson move, every time they see Selena sing, every time they see Whitney Houston sing, they are reminded of what they sold for pottage, and they hate us for it because they're a childish, evil race, so they can't take the accountability. You understand? Which is why he sold his birthright, but then still got mad when we took it. That's why they hate us.
That's why Jerry West is still the logo for the NBA. It should be Jordan or LeBron or somebody dunking or somebody doing something else, but that weak crossover that they got is still the NBA logo.
Who's on the Heisman?
Joe Theismann. I don't know. Who's on the Heisman?
Did they redo the Heisman Trophy?
No. It's still the
White people need to feel like validated and empowered. You understand? And it's like it's why they have to keep us down, because they're trying to keep down a competitor, because they know that we are better than them at everything. What could they do better than us besides lie? Steal. They're not smarter than us in anything but wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, I was when we was at camp yesterday, this little white creature, I don't know what it was, boy, girl, boy, whatever it was like a thing looked non-binary. I think that was non-binary. Okay. I don't remember anything, but like that she looked like if like Minkus and Justin Bieber had a baby. You know what I'm saying? And she came up to the table, asked some questions, and then wanted to give us food. Like, I got this plate. It's fajitas. Do you guys want it? And in my mind, I go, what if they're trying to poison us? You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why I can't look at it as an act of kindness is because like it is because I have now been introduced to treachery. I don't think about poisoning people, but when it comes to them, I think about being poisoned. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things that I remember being a kid and I was in some restaurant and they were talking about one of the waiters and they were like, "Oh, he's gay." And I was like, "What's gay?" And then somebody yelled out like, "Gay means happy." And then somebody looked me dead in the face and told me the truth and was like, "He likes boys." And I remember being so confused. Like, that's an option? You know, that's why the scriptures say that the law is not made for the righteous, it's made for the wicked. Because there's certain things inside of us that we just wouldn't do normally, that we've been introduced to in this toxic world, that it wouldn't even cross your mind. Like, I remember, like, listen, it was crazy enough. There's people that identify as they, them. I have to say I'm a he, him. You have to say she, her. What? What? Like non-binary? Where do y'all what section do you buy clothes in? There's only men and women clothes. That's only two options, and you're saying you're not. So do you put on like a male sock and a woman's sock? But then that's still two. You just made yourself binary. What are we talking about? Then there's something called a pansexual. What is that? You're attracted to silverware, like Tupperware?
You like to cook?
Yo, like, look at it. Look at that Pyrex over there. Need me some Tupperware. Like, what? Like, what is that? This
That non-stick pan.
cast iron skillet. Put some oil on it. Grease that baby up. Hide it from Diddy. This is the world. You wouldn't think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like when and it's like we've learned evil from them. You know, there's a doctor. I found this out a little while back. There's a doctor that takes dogs and gives them like multiple organs, puts them under, gives them like two hearts, an extra set of lungs, like some Frankenstein shit, and then adds an extra head to the dog and sees how long it could survive. Mike?
Like you said, there was a doctor who got two apes. He cut the head off of both of them.
Mhm.
He switched them. They came back to life, but it was another ape's head on another ape's head, and then it died.
That's probably the same doctor. Now, can anybody tell me the race of that doctor?
White.
You know that's a white man. Like, and that's the difference between them and everybody else. You know, China is colonizing a lot of the world. How many wars did they start to do it? Like who did they invade to get Somalia's fishing rights? Who did they invade to own all the ports in where's that prison at? El Salvador. Who did they invade to own all them airports and electric company in Africa? They didn't fire one bullet. They didn't fire one bullet. But the white man comes and got to kill you, your mama, your grandmama, your uncle, your children, your pregnant wife, got to salt the earth so nothing grows, give everybody smallpox. This is the difference between him and everybody else. Every other captivity we were in, we still knew who we were. They bring us into captivity, everything gets erased. Like, it's a different type of evil.
That's heavy because that's how you know the Bible's so real when it says, by the sword shalt thou live. That's the only way he can move.
All the days of thy life shall thou eat up the dust of the earth. You gotta do dirt to eat.
And then us being in captivity by them and looking at the way they live, and they live is like so cunning because we're just so dirt poor, and then they have at least the nice house. You know what I mean? So it makes us want to live like dirt, like live in the dirt with them. So like move dirty too, so that way we can at least try to get what they got. That's why they say we get it out the mud, we get it how we live, and things like that.
All the evil that we do, we learn from them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they do it to us, and then it's like the gift that keeps on giving. We get it from them. It's like I said, it's things we would never. Would you think about cutting gorillas' heads off and swapping bodies to see how long they live? Nah, that's probably Moab. Yeah, like because Moab over there, they got something called shark fin stew, and like they take the sharks and they cut all the fins off. You know what I'm saying? And then I think they don't even use the rest; they just throw it in to chum the waters. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like that's why we need to rule, because then Jaws can be safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, like there's things you're not supposed to eat, and that's what heathens do. They just like oysters. Who looked at an oyster one day and just like was like, yeah, I can't wait to slurp this muck from the water. Is that not insane? Baked clams. Y'all like the breadcrumb in there. Y'all wouldn't just eat a clam. The French do that. A snail. Escargot. My cargo. Who does that? Like, that's what escargot is. Like, and then like, people want to eat calamari. Like, who would really look at a squid or an octopus and just be like, yeah, let's throw some sazon on that. That looks delicious. No, but what I'm saying is when it comes out as a meal, you're just seeing something in a batter. But if you just caught an octopus on your line and you pulled that thing up, would you be like, this looks delicious? Never. Catfish. That's an ugly fish. You know what I'm saying? Who would get a catfish? Yeah, and be like, yeah, this slimy creature right here. Have you ever seen Chinese people catch like a giant salamander?
Yes.
Throw that thing in a big ass pot,
First they put salt on it to make it like
shrivel up. Have you ever seen a salamander? That shit is so ugly. Why would you eat that? Like a chicken looks presentable. Like a chicken, like I see a chicken and I'm like, yeah, you look like you should have lemon pepper on you. You know what I mean? Like you look delicious. You got a question?
Salakia, sir. So for like unclean animals, what's the purpose? Like filtration and things like that?
So, I mean, now I'm no zoologist, but everything has a purpose. Those little roly poly bugs, I don't know what they're actually called. The roly polies, the kids know. They eat up heavy metals in the soil. Bees pollinate flowers. Pigs are like garbage disposals. Horses are for transportation. You understand? Like there's every creature out here, you understand, is either food for something else. Like y'all know cicadas? Cicadas actually ventilate the earth. When they dig those holes, they put holes in the earth for certain pockets of air and gases to exchange in the earth. There's a perfect system for everything. Sometimes a creature is just created to keep the population of another creature so it doesn't just expand all over. Now, I don't know what wasp before. I think wasps are just assholes. Like I don't think they pollinate. I don't think that, like you got spiders that create silk. You know what I mean? They got a purpose. So I couldn't tell you every creature, but what I do know is that the Most High in all of his like amazing design created a perfect system. Any of y'all ever have a fish tank? Yo, how hard is it? Like what type of fish tank did you have? How big was it? Small, a 13 gallon. Anybody ever have like a 65 gallon tank? 40. Yo, how hard was it to maintain it?
it's very hard. That's why I don't have fish now.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you. Like I had a fish tank, brought new fish in. They got the ick. The whole tank died. Ever since then, the tank just been sitting. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. You know what I'm saying? Now, think about how much life is in the rivers. Perfectly. Think about how much life is in the ocean, is in the lakes, and how like you don't have to go touch that. All you got to do is cast a line. Now think about how hard it is to maintain a fish tank, and tell me the Most High don't have a perfect system.
Right. That's that Finding Nemo effect. Because when the fish tank started getting dirty and Finding Nemo, the only one that was crazy and tripping about it was the shrimp and the crab. They were like, gotta get clean.
Because that's what they're made for. They're made to filter the ocean. They're made to eat all the decay in the ocean. Like, good. No, please.
That's about the wasp. They're meant to paralyze and eat the insects to prevent them from destroying crops and plants.
Oh, I didn't know it. See that? Wasp I apologize to the wasp community.
They say wasps are the King Vaughn of insects.
Yeah, there you go. So that's their point. King Von Wasps. So they wasp from Chirac. Young man.
One time, a wasp got in our house, and they tried to sting me. I had a shirt, and then I just grabbed it, and our mom sprayed it.
Give him a hand. He was ready. to fight the King Von Wasp. That was very brave of you. It was very courageous. So now, the Most High got this perfect system. It's why I could never understand people who always said there was no God. I'm like, you think all this happened by accident? Like, look at how we reproduce. Look at how perfect space we are away from the sun. Look at like just the flow of everything around us. And you think there's not a design in this, that like everything's like a microcosm of a macrocosm? It's insane. I heard a Big Bang Theory. I'm thought you were gonna make a. I'm waiting for you to. It's like, how could like chaos organize itself? You know what I'm saying? Like everything is so perfect. Like, you mean to tell me trees just grow out the ground and then create food and oxygen and a sustainable atmosphere that we breathing? Like, come on, son. Like, this is crazy. It's perfect. Everything's perfect. I think about that every time I eat fruit. I'm like, how are you this delicious? And you just, like, I had to do nothing. You literally just came out the ground. That's insane.
You know, when the scriptures talk about the creation of the firmament and how the firmament separates the waters from the waters below, like that's insane, because it's like literally a protective layer that keeps us from dying, because the sun would just kill us, you know.
But it also makes this have a sustainable atmosphere,
right?
Because otherwise we wouldn't be able to contain all the air that the trees are making in the first place.
Right. That's why it's like thinner air as you go further up. You know?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. You got a question?
There's different type of water that's underwater, like the ocean. It has another type of water because if it was mixed together, then the sharks would have. Yeah.
That's true.
They couldn't go through that kind of water because if they did, then they would go extinct.
That's true. Give my hand. That's facts. And then the white man came and messed it up. Like, you ever read, there's a quote from Chief Two Eagles, and he's like, they're like, you were here before and after the settlers. He's like, Salaki, excuse my voice too. Yesterday was the first time I spoke at camp without a mic in a long time. So I gotta get back to talking with my gut. Oh man, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. That's how it used to be in Times Square. But so what happens is, he was like, how was it before the white man came here? And he was like, well, let me think about it. He was like, medicine man was free. There was no taxes on land. He's like, men spent all day hunting and fishing. Women did all the chores. And then we spent all night making love to our wives. And then he's like, only the white man could think he could fix that system. Like, he could make that better. You crazy? You gonna say something?
Oh, it's like there's a question in the chat.
What's that?
I
forgot our chat. I'm so sorry. I forgot about you. Salakia.
As an officer, Rapayad, he says, Salakia, sir, if I could, sir, are there any external sources that goes deeper into the diaspora that took place after 70 AD, more specifically of the tribes of Israel that went into Africa? I'm assuming he's talking about aside from Babylon and Timbuktu.
There's a whole bunch of different books. Is the book listing back up on isupk.com? So in that book listing, you're gonna see like the Jews in Africa, Portuguese discoveries. I don't know all those books offhand. Primarily, I studied like things with the Northern Kingdom because it's like you got people who say we're not Jews, but then you got people within the people who say we are Jews, but like Mexicans aren't. So like I spent my time reinforcing that. So I don't know all those sources offhand, but you know what I'm saying? You should research it and I'll look into it as well. But go on the book listing and you should be able to see some of them.
There's a book called The Black Kings of Europe that talks about the captivity of the Romans that took during 70 AD. They took the Israelites into Rome and put them in the as gladiators and stuff like that. And that's where the Perennius Niger and the Persinius Niger and Septimius Servius. That's the line that they come from.
Yes, I know that history. I need that book though. You gotta give me that. You gotta give me that title. Now I know the history. Okay. You had a question? Another one from the chat?
La, sir. La. I think that was the only one that I seen. But if you want to, because you're the master of the 12 tribes chart.
Stop it. Come on with it
though. How do we because there's people that try to criticize the legitimacy of something like the Lost Lunar Stones and things like that. Of course, it's all conjecture. It's not necessarily like we stick with the Bible. We do all the outside sources just as reinforcement, right, of what the Bible's saying.
All right, hold that thought. I've been waiting to do this.
All right. Are you promoting your book or what? Oh, come on. It's like, y'all, 1 second. Hey, you know what's crazy too? When we do the prayer for the blessing of the school. And when we do the blessing of the school prayer, the word school is not in the Old Testament. We use the phrase Barath Saparium, which means house of books. And so it's like the school is literally a house of books. The Bible is basically a collection of books when you think about it. It's like a library, you know what I'm saying? Right, come on.
Haha. Found it buried too.
Most High in Christ.
Mm-hmm. So now, let me show y'all something. I've been waiting to break this out. I was actually saving this for a debate, just in case somebody wanted to talk about the Los Lunas stone.
I'm gonna have to take a picture of that page.
Hold on.
Yeah, you get it before it goes to $1,000 on Amazon, because you know how they be doing that to you. $17.
Sisters looked it up. What y'all doing? What did that thing?
Nice chain, man. I can get you one at the Passover. Maybe. I'll save my money, right?
So, all right, check this out, right? So, a lot of people know about the Los Lunas stone.
Right. We supposed to go to Mexico and check it out.
But I want to go there too. Tazadak called me up to do that. I was like, let's do it. And I got my passport. No, I know, but I'm saying we should also go to Oaxaca. Hell yeah. All right. But y'all see this joint right here? So this is the Los Lunas eclipse. All right. Check this out. Eclipse. Yeah. So like, y'all see this? I want y'all to take a look at this. This is a map of the sky, but it's Shemitic constellations. So you know how they got constellations like Leo and all that, like the Greek? This is the Shemitic version of what the constellations were. So now we not only have Hebrew carved into the rocks, what does Shemitic constellations do and carved in the same area of Los Lunas? Huh? Now, hold on though. Now, so let me read some points out of this. Hold on. This is crazy. So it says the most important key for dating the inscriptions in New Mexico was the discovery of a zodiac map, the artifacts at Hidden Mountain. This map peaked into heavily painted basalt at the top of the mountain, was discovered by Phil Leonard, president of Western Epictographic Society, right? So now it says the author or authors recorded a solar eclipse in the constellation of Virgo in the southwest about 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the month of September. This would be an event not repeated exactly in perhaps 1,000 years, right? And it says using Shemitic symbols for the constellations, the September sky of 2,100 years ago is portrayed. So, you know how they know that the pyramids to like a small degree were built under the constellation of Orion, and based off the wobble of the earth, they could kind of calculate when it was fully lined up of the stars from how the earth shifts using math. Well, based off the position of the stars, they calculated when, based off the wobble and degrees of the axis, to be able to date when this inscription was made, because the sky wouldn't have looked like that as it's depicted here at any other time. So there's not only, what's crazy is hold up. So when they calculated it, so check this out. It says the eclipse on our computer screen met all the requirements for having been the source of inspiration of the zodiac map found hidden on the mountain. And they said that they would have had to date it back to September 15th, 107 BCE. So that means that this inscription would have had to have been, like over 1,500 years before the white man even got there. You know what I'm saying? And still on timeline with when Israel would have been in America. So you mean to tell me the Los Lunas stone's fake, but you have a Shemitic star map where the sky only looked like that over 1,000 years ago? Okay. Sure. There's too much evidence.
You show that real quick, just for the video.
What, this?
I think it was the previous page. But
You want to do this after class? You can look at the book.
yeah.
The book's not going nowhere.
Select, sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
The stone that the mountain is on, that mountain is named King David's mountain.
You see this shit? So, but I could see that because here's something else too. Hold on, let me see something. I want to see if I can find this other portion. Yes, it's over here. All right, so this right here is a map of the area, right? And now in the area, it shows the gate entrance, the 10 Commandment inscriptions at the top of the mountain where the zodiac would be. Then it starts to show that the way that this was set up was exactly how an Israelite camp would have been set up. And then it starts to show, you see those walls? The same way that they built the encampment and altars, they found remnants of that at the same site. So we got the 10 Commandments, an Israelite encampment, a Shemitic zodiac map, and the 10 Commandments is written in Paleo Hebrew, all in the same area. Okay, sure. And you want to sell me a bridge too? Like I don't understand. Like, so when they go and they look at all the evidence around here, they start basing it off of even the time periods of the formation of the letters. You know what I'm saying? So if that's the case, how could it be fraudulent?
I don't know.
Is that insane?
It's too much evidence to like just. No, I mean y'all wrong. Like it's crazy.
It's insane. So it said solar eclipse in Virgo and Libra, summer sky minus 25 degrees of precision, the sky of 2100 years ago. I'm sure it's 2100 years ago from when they were dating this, but that's still like about 1500 years before Columbus.
Con. And that still falls within the timeline, right? Because we would have left Assyrian captivity sometime between, what would you say, was it 800 to 700 BC?
And some asshole named Jerry carved his name into the rock. And then you could see what a modern inscription looks like compared to like an ancient. But what were you saying again, Salaki?
Damn, I forgot. Hold on. It'll come back to me. Hold on. Oh, so the time frame that we're looking at as far as the northern tribes being over here, generally speaking, as referred to in when it speaks about Arsareth, would be what approximation? Was it 700 or before that?
Yeah, no, it would well, okay. Based off the current timeline that we have, it would have to be somewhere around 700 BC. We only have that timeline because of, okay, so when you go into Assyria, you have the king's list. So we have a little bit more accuracy when it comes to time from Assyria on down than we do from Egypt. That's why there's 3 different timelines in Egypt.
Okay.
But even in Assyria, there's still discrepancies with the timeline because ancient civilizations didn't keep track of time the way the Gregorians and the Romans and how we do now. They kept time according to rulership. That's why when you read inside of Kings and Chronicles, it's like in the 8th year of such and such's rule.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how they knew. So to make the timeline, they would go and read this king ruled 15 years, this king ruled 20 years, this king ruled 50 years, and they would add up those times. And that's how they would come up with the calculation of how long it lasted. But the problem is every king isn't listed. You know what I'm saying? So like picture like America Fallen, right? And then somebody goes and finds a list of all the presidents, but it just gives you the order of them. And then one of them finds that presidents were in office for a minimum of 4 years at a time, unless they got 2 terms. And then they go and add up the presidents based off 4 years. But you get John F. Kennedy, you get Abraham Lincoln, you get old buddy who left Nixon instead of getting impeached.
Right.
So now it might be off by 20 years because of how you're calculating it. That's how ancient time is. You don't, yeah. So we don't know what year it is. You know what I'm saying? And we don't know what actual year it is. So that's how time actually works as far as, you know what I'm saying, it moving forward. You know what I'm saying, with how they calculated it. And then What if a nation had a war? What if one of the kings got wiped out from the records during the regime change? What if one of the kings was weak? You know what I'm saying? Or or what if it's like um Queen Hatshepsut, that her brothers wanted to wipe out her records? You know what I'm saying? So there's so many little nuances in history to be able to conflate it. You know what I'm saying? Like history is, it's very convoluted. So the way that we know what's true is you got to find people who were contemporary in that time from different areas who wrote about the same event. And then you got to compare them, because it's like, here's another problem. And it's what's crazy is this actually happened in hip hop. But this is kind of what we're dealing with history. Let's say there was like a block party, right? And like blacks and Latinos threw the block party. And then a white man came and observed. And he wrote down everything that he saw. Do you think he's going to describe everything accurately? Nah, he's going to describe everything according to his understanding. So things that are just regular for us, he's going to, oh. And then imagine that gets publicized. And now it's a publication. And when everybody goes back to look at that party, they look at it from the white man's lens instead of talking to people who were at the party. You know what I'm saying? And when you go look at the party, there's only certain clips because the party was in the 80s. So somebody had a big ass camera and didn't record it all or something. You know what I'm saying? So you, now it's like this happened, that happened. Or if you do talk to somebody, it was somebody who was there and it's only an oral tradition and it's only from what he remembers in the party. That's history. That's how history is. You know what I'm saying? And it's why keeping records is so important, so that you can tell your own story, because these white bastards will tell it for us. And I see your hand. I'm going to come to you in a second, young man. And when they tell the story, that's what happened with early hip hop publications. It was like white people who wanted to go visit the jungle and, like, you know what I'm saying? And were so enthralled. And then because they had the resources, they wrote about it. And then that shit got published and everybody was like, what are you talking about? And it's why there's so many conflicting things. Like even with graffiti, you know, for years, so there was this white graffiti artist who was attributed as being one of the earliest graffiti artists ever. His name was like Taki 183. And he would write that everywhere. But he got it from Juan 204. You know what I'm saying? Ephraimite started graffiti, but the publications give it to a white man. Like, that's what we deal with. So when you go look at history, you got to go and try to find like the non-mainstream publications and compare them with other contemporaries of the time to even be able to get close. Because in history, everybody has a bias. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give you an example, right? You got this guy Gomorrah, and then you got Bartholomew de la Casa. Both of them wrote about the Indians. Gomorrah was being paid by Cortez. Cortez wanted to enslave the Indians. So he told them to write terrible things about the Indians. Because if the Indians were savages, they had permission to civilize them with Christianity by enslaving them. So Bartholomew de la Casa wasn't making money off the slave trade. He was a humanitarian. So when he wrote about the true character of the natives and was like, nah, they're peaceable. They're loving. He's like, if anything, they are the true Christians and Spaniards are the true devils, because of what the Spaniards were doing to the Indians. So it's kind of like, Malcolm X was dead wrong with Islam, but he said the truth in history is on the side of the oppressed. Napoleon Bonaparte said history is written by the winners. You know what I'm saying? And I think, I don't know if it was Winston Churchill or one of them cats. You know what? No, matter of fact, Napoleon said this too. Said history is just orchestrated lies that people agree on. But that's from the top. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like what they trying to do with the history books now. Saying that the transatlantic migration and it was endangered servitude. But if we dig deep enough, so if we go in what's in the school books, it's bullshit. But if we go dig deep enough, we can tell the children our story. So that's what you got to do with history. But it's hard to do that before the printing press. It's hard to do that before, when you can just go to Staples and pick up stationery and somebody could have a notebook or a journal. It's hard to do that when you're finding clay pots or stone carvings. So that's what makes history so crazy. You had your hand up? I think he had his hand up first. You forgot? I'm sorry, I took too long.
It's all good.
Hold on, I think you had your hand up next, right?
So, like, is that one thing about the Israelites? Like, we were one of the first people that actually like held records and carried our records and wrote down records and kept that history of our nation, of our people.
No. So, okay. Only like there are older civilizations and people than Israel. But what we had, okay, so it's kind of like this, right? Like, give me 1 second. It's kind of, give me 1 second. It's kind of like this, like when you go far enough back inside of all ancient civilizations, like even going back to Sumeria. Remember, Sumeria is before Egypt. We didn't become a nation till we got into Egypt. We only went into Egypt with 70 souls. So there was people who had records, which is why you got Sumerian cuneiform. We had a writing system, but we weren't keeping our records like that. We didn't start maintaining our records till we left Egypt. That's when we started writing all this down. And then, because before then, it was mainly oral traditions. We wrote stuff down, but we didn't keep it how we kept it now. Most civilizations didn't. And like not in a way of scholars would. But you got to remember, literacy is the highest now. A lot of people couldn't even read back then. You know what I'm saying? Like it was a different type of society. You know what I'm saying? Like literacy is across the board in this society. You go back even a couple of generations, a lot of people couldn't read. You know what I'm saying? So the scholars, the priests, the doctors maintained the records. It wasn't something that was just given out to everybody, and that's who governed the society. So like when you go far enough back into that time period, it's kind of like every ancient civilization has a flood story. All of them. And in all those flood stories, they have variations, but there's a couple of common denominators: people, animals, extended rain, flooding, destruction. What changes is the amount of animals, the amount of people, the size of the ship, the shape of it. In every civilization, there's a serpent that interferes with man in the beginning. Chinese call him the dragon. You know what I'm saying? The Sumerians call them the Anunnaki, like reptilian-like beings. We call them the snake in the garden. So,
was it the northern tribes when they were in like Mexico? Is that what they would equate to, like Quetzalcoatl or something like that?
Maybe
they gave it like certain names.
It could be. I have to look, and I couldn't tell you offhand. But as far as going further back before that, You know what I'm saying? They all have one. And that just tells me how true the Bible is. Because if all the families of the earth come from Noah, then that means all the families of the earth would have a story that was passed down about a flood, would have similar oral traditions. But as they expand out, it's like the game of telephone. They start to change until you find a man named Abraham. And Abraham doesn't do things the new way. He doesn't do things like the Chaldeans. He's Hebrew. He's from the past. He keeps the old ways. So because he keeps the old ways, the Most High makes a covenant with him. When the Most High makes covenant with him, you understand, it comes all the way down to Moses. When Moses writes this record from what happens in the beginning, it's after he comes down off the mountain. So that means that the Most High told him what happened and he wrote it down. So if I'm going to believe anything, I'm not going to believe the Sumerians. I'm not going to believe whoever. If the Bible can predict the future for 6,000 years, why would I deny the past? If this book is the only prophetic book, it has to be divinely inspired. So if it is divinely inspired, why would I trust another source? So I would trust that this has the right creation story, that this is the right flood story, that this, and especially that it's from our people's paradigm. It's our cultural lens. Why would I go outside of that? So when you get into that point, I think it proves the Bible more that there's commonalities in all the ancient civilizations, because it means that all their ancestors experienced something similar. So who do we trust? We got to trust our ancestors. We got to trust our forefathers.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Over theirs, because their forefathers, the Most High, didn't split the Red Sea for them. You know what I'm saying? And their records didn't survive like ours did. Their records aren't as famous as ours. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows about Noah and Moses and the Bible. The biggest religions in the world come from this record. Get what I'm saying? So if that's the case, there has to be power to this,
Right.
and it has to come from the Most High power. Good.
Just to kind of get some clarity on one thing, when transitioning from the BC era to the AD era, or however they call it now, they call it before Common Era versus CE, which is Common Era. How does Christ's life fall into that? Is it like 0 represents when he was born, or 0 represents when he passed away? Because the fall of Jerusalem was in 70 AD. What is that? How does that line up with him?
They just changed it, but so it starts with, you know what I'm saying, like, what is it? BC is before Christ.
Right, that's what it was
right?
before, right? Yeah.
AD is Anno Domini. Anno Domini, you know what I'm saying, which is, it's not after death. It's
Slacky.
Is it after destruction? So it starts at his birth.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like he's literally the timeline.
Right, because it's like there's certain kings that were rulers in Rome at the time, and history books kind of has it plotted in a certain common era or whatever you want to call it, AD, like the time frame or something like that.
There might be somebody better to ask than me on that, and only too because that's like another question where it's like, because I don't believe we know what year it is.
Mm-hmm.
I just put 2025 for my taxes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, we hear whatever. What year is it? All right. It's not, I use it as a reference point.
Calm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, this is what they're saying. All right. You know what I'm saying? It's to get a ballpark, because truth is none of us were there.
Right.
So all we have is the counts. That's why the only record that I trust is this.
Right.
This is absolute.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything goes against this, that's the lie. You know what I'm saying? That's like anything else is just a pastime. No pun intended.
That's heavy too, because when you look, you just mentioned about the 700 BC as the time frame, but it's an approximation.
Let this be the last thing. I don't have the authority to go over the time. We're over the time right now.
Oh, Slack.
Let this be the last one.
But just basically dealing with that because it's like an approximation of somewhere around 20 years based off of how they calculated it, like you were saying. So it's kind of like that too, even at the Christ era, because like where I think in the book of, I don't think it was Second Esdras where it starts mentioning the 10 kings and how they lined up with the Caesars.
Yes.
And so there's like there's some give and take there because we know that it mentions the second Caesar being the one with the most amount of rule, and then it starts to whittle down with some of the other ones, and then in history records it shows the Romans and the different Caesars and how some of them ruled longer than others. I'm trying to remember, was it Octavius that was the longest reigning king? But anyways, the way it lines up is not like exact, but it's as close as we can get it.
Yeah, and it's so the Bible's so accurate that they try to say that Ezra was written after it happened. They try to do the same thing with Daniel because they don't believe in the power of prophecy. So they're like, there's no way this was written beforehand because they try to deny the power of the Most High and his prophets.
Okay.
But we're over the time.
The Domino.
What does it mean?
It means in the year of the Lord.
That's what it was. I knew it was something like that. In the year of the Lord. So they're saying this is the year that the Lord came. And you're on Shamar? And with that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Kapayar.
This is the Isupk security announcements. Where the Isupk started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find this in the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Maishra means tenth in Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any Kistola gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priest. Not mandatory, and it's whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. The memorial blowing trumpets. Yeah, memorial blowing trumpets. First day. It's like first day of the 7th month, starting Sunday, 21st September 2025, and you can find this in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23 and verse 24 through 25. And remind Akim and Akwath to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, scarf. And this will conclude the ISPK security announcements.
Yeah.
Just
salute, right?
Come on. Without a majum, which means to stand. We're going to give one crazy salute to the brothers. Manavija Amajum Shabbat. Amajum. Barak. Yao Bashim Yao Shai Brakatah. Yadimata. And we're going to turn and face the sisters. Sisters, you can stand. Oh, it's like Amajum, which means to stand. Manavija Amajum Shabbat. Amajum. Barak. Yao Shema Alatah Bashim Yao Shai. Yadimata. Class dismissed.